never stays a day. A bad luck's always a coming my way.
For today's grim adventure, we find ourselves in Griffith Park here in Los Angeles, California, where we have something a little special for you. When it comes to the weather here in Southern California, usually it is beyond beautiful with sunny skies. But lately we've been having this overcast, kind of foggy, nightmare-filled kind of days. It honestly feels like we are no longer in California. Like we're in some other world altogether, which is perfect because today's video is all about vampires. Well, a vampire dog. Now I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that if you're a fan of this channel, then more than likely you're a fan of vampire movies. Whether it be Dracula, Dead and Loving It, Bram Stoker's Dracula, Nosferatu, or many of the other ones that are out there. There's a very good chance that unless you like to deep dive into horror, you haven't heard of this movie. It came out in 1977. It's called Dracula's Dog, or Zoltan, the Hound of Dracula, and it's about a dog that's turned into a vampire. And it was filmed here at Griffith Park, the old zoo.
The meanest vampire of them all has a four-legged friend and he's out for blood. Crown International Pictures presents Dracula's Dog. Whoops, there he goes again. There's more to the legend than meets the throat in Dracula's Dog. Rated R.
I feel like at this point, I must give a little word of caution. Well, let's start off by saying this. If you have seen the movie Zoltan, the Hound of Dracula, then you are in for a treat. If you haven't seen the movie and you're gonna watch it, especially after seeing this filming location video, I'm sorry. Well, I shouldn't say that. It's a fun movie. Let me start this video off by saying this. Usually whenever you get a movie about Dracula or vampires, all the good stuff really happens underneath the shroud of darkness at nighttime. Zoltan, the Hound of Dracula, they do things a little bit differently. One of the most interesting scenes is the opening scene, and it happened here at the old zoo. This is cool. Jessica and I have been wanting to come up here to the old zoo to do like a historical video on this place, because there's a lot of really cool old photos that we can line up. But when I woke up this morning and I saw the fog, like the shroud of dark gray covering Hollywood, I had to come out here and do this. And I'm actually surprised because usually there's so many people here. Not today. I mean, there's a few different dog walkers, which is perfect because, you know, Dracula's dog. But we basically have this entire place to ourselves. So we're gonna line up some shots from the movie, as well as just kind of check out this old piece of history here in Hollywood. I feel like we can pretty much spend the entire day here. Here's a plaque. It talks about this being the site of the old zoo. There's old photos of the animal enclosures. And on the right-hand side, let's see here, Topsy the camel, a little write-up about that. Disney, Walt Disney frequenting the zoo here. But then Ivan the Terrible, this was once home to the infamous Ivan the Terrible, a 900-pound polar bear. Right? This area served as the city's zoo from its founding in 1912 until 1965. It doesn't really say anything about Zoltan here, but that's okay, because that's what we're doing. I am beyond surprised that we are the only people here right now. We basically have this entire place to ourselves. And I am loving it. With this being our first time here with the camera, I'm not entirely sure what is here. I mean, I've seen pictures, but usually whenever we walk through a place like this, we kind of comb through it. Some steps here that go up. Look at that. So if I was walking through here back whenever the zoo was in operation, I'd probably be eaten by a bear right now. Let's go ahead and look up here. Here, stick this through. All right, that's cool. I think this is one of the scenes from the movie. All right, getting ahead of ourselves. Let's talk about the movie first, and then we'll explore the zoo. Now, picture this. Beginning of the movie, the very first scenes that you see, the Romanian army accidentally blasts open a subterranean crypt. And in doing so, he fears that it's going to be looted. Like somebody's going to come up here and steal a bunch of stuff. So he positions a guard at the entrance to the crypt. Well, in the middle of the night, an earthquake happens and some of the coffins shake loose. And one of the coffins slides down and it lands at the feet of the guard. And confused or a little bewildered or scared, if you will, he opens up the coffin to find a dog with a stake in its heart. He removes the stake. Why would you do that? And he wakens the vampiric Doberman Zoltan. It's crazy. It's a vampire dog. Now you have to keep in mind that this movie was filmed back in 1977. And of course, a lot has changed, but it looks like the first animal enclosure is the one that they filmed the blasting scenes in. You see that angle right there? And then these ones right here? Which would have put right where I'm standing all the brush and then the military vehicle.
Has everyone been accounted for?
There was only one guard on duty at the time of the game. We brought him up. The ambulance just arrived. Major Hessel, this is Inspector Bronco.
How do you do?
Honored, Inspector.
All right, let's see if the staircase matches up, well, as close as we can to the movie. You guys ready? You're gonna love this. This is cool. Right now, I am actually inside the animal enclosure, and it smells just like a zoo. Now, this is where I wanted to get, because once the blast happens, the officers get called, and then you can see them running down steps. And you don't see the hallway that I'm in right now, but whenever they turn the corner, you see this wall, the one that has like the teal and the white paint on it. And what they're doing is they're turning and they're running down these steps right here. And it's about this shot that we get of them running down.
Where are you? Down below. Over here.
This way, sir.
Watch your step.
Oh, that's fun. That's really fun. I'm gonna watch my step, but you better believe we're walking down the steps. Now, can't match it up perfectly because it was a very dark scene, but I am about 100% positive that this is the steps. These are the steps from the movie. Oh, all the way down. Right? How cool is this? Dracula's dog heading into the crypt of vampires. Again, this movie came out in 1977, and it is a wonderful movie. It's enjoyable. You have to watch it. When you watch it, remember what we're doing here today, these scenes. Standing inside the first enclosure that we showed when we first got here, the steps that I was looking at that reminded me of the movie, those are the actual steps that the soldiers came down in that scene. Now, what's fun about this, if I back up through this enclosure, I'm gonna watch my step. You see at the very top there how it kind of looks like upside down steps, kind of like labyrinth, right? You can see that entranceway, as well as that rock formation right there in this scene. So this is the Vampire Crypt.
Where are you?
Down below. Over here.
This way, sir.
Watch your step.
Now here's something that I find very interesting. When the soldiers walk through that doorway right there, they obviously walk down a set of stone steps. Those stone steps are no longer here. In fact, this whole area, this whole enclosure that I'm standing on has been filled in. And now it's like a little picnic area. In fact, I'm standing on the picnic tables right now. Now, once they get to the bottom of the room, the bottom of the crypt, they turn and they walk over towards this wall right here. And this is where they find the crypts of the vampires.
Looks like a giant tomb.
Probably was.
There's Count Igor Dracula. There's Contessa Dracula. It's really cool. And the fact that I'm standing here blows my mind. You remember how I mentioned earlier that there was a soldier that was tasked with staying behind to prevent people from looting the crypts? Where he was staying, where he kind of like settles in, is in this little like cutout area underneath the steps, which would have been right about the center of your screen. Of course, under the dirt. While he's under the steps, another earthquake happens, and a coffin is dislodged from the wall, from the crypt. And he gets up to go check it out. And that is where we find the vampire dog. You see, Zoltan, the vampire dog, attacks the soldier. He bites his neck and he drinks his blood. It is glorious. And then, cue title screen. So let's see here. We have the crypt wall. We have the entrance to the crypt that the soldiers walk through, and then you can see the steps right here that go up to the stairwell. Now, don't fret. If you haven't seen the movie, it has been released on 4K and Blu-ray. So you can get it, you can watch it in all its glory. It is amazing. I can't believe that we are here right now. Like, technically, I'm hovering right above where the Vampire Crypt was, or is. I mean, technically it would still be here, it's just completely covered in with dirt, which actually seems kind of fitting. All right. Now, I can't say for sure, but where the officers were standing whenever they were watching the demolition, it kind of looks like it's right over here. You can see these ledges. They don't match up perfectly, but they do kind of match up, because behind them you can see that there's like a wooded area, and some of the stones are round and some of the stones are kind of like sharp cut. And that would kind of make sense because right now I'm pretty much right above where that first enclosure is. Now, I'm sure if we really wanted to, we can find other little locations from the movie. But this is mainly it. The crypt, the staircase. And then in doing so, finding all of this, like these enclosures. You can hear the dogs in the back, right? Here's a different angle to the stairs that go down to the Vampire Crypt again. Man, this is cool. And then right over here is the back side of the animal enclosure. The fact that this is all still here, that they didn't tear it down, is just really cool. And again, I know that we're here because of a movie about a vampire dog, but the amount of history, I mean, I'm sure somebody who's watching this went to the zoo back in the day when it was in full operation. And then the path just keeps going. This place definitely has a strange atmosphere to it, that's for sure. Haunting even. So let's go ahead and explore other parts of the old zoo, see what's here. Like this building right here, there's a parrot painted on it. Was this an old bird enclosure? I'm guessing so. I mean, they got some cages over here. They call it like what, like chicken wire? You can hear the kids in the background. Early morning, it was the dog walkers. Now, parents are bringing their kids out to go explore and hike. There's a lot more to this place than I realized. And just so you guys know, no, I didn't stumble across this. This is a free park that people can walk through and explore. Anchorman was filmed here with Will Ferrell. I'm sure you probably recognize those scenes. I didn't say it earlier, but watching it, you're probably going, wait a second, you didn't even talk about that. Well, there, I just mentioned it. Look at these. Man, it's pretty wild. And with that being said, thank you for joining us on another grim adventure, this time talking about a rather strange vampire tale of Dracula's dog. Until next time, happy Halloween.
Wherever I come, bad luck is coming my way. Wherever I go, hard luck is there to stay. Good luck never stays a day. Bad luck's always coming my way.